Hello everyone, my name is Zuzo Constantine. I recently went to the city and on the train finished a book by John Douglas called The Anatomy of Motive. It is a true crime book written about the FBI profiler's journey towards criminality and the study of criminals. It is about Thomas Hamilton, who is known for the Dublin killings in the school, which it says here on Wikipedia 16 pupils, one teacher, and injured 15 others before killing himself, which is what occurred in March 13th, 1996, around my birthday. Not the year, but the month and the date. Then in the last book, it discusses Ted Kaczynski, who is the Unabomber, and it leads up to the Unabomber case. And it says how Ted Kaczynski sent, like most killers, like the Zodiac Killer, if you've seen the movie with David Fincher and Jake Gyllenhaal and Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo, then you know that the killer sent notes to the San Diego Chronicle. Well, the Unabomber did that. From a Joe Rogan podcast I read somewhere, um, the Unabomber was part of this MK Ultra experiment in Harvard, and he was brutalized severely, which could have impacted his case into becoming the Unabomber. The, the book discusses Ted Bundy, who murdered 30 women and possibly more. The book discusses the Tylenol killer, which was appeared in American history where an individual used a tampering case to tamper with bottles of Tylenol in a Johnson and Johnson or Johnson and Murphy company, and he infected all the Tylenol cases with with poison. It discusses Charles Whitman, and it discusses several other killers as well. Anyways, if you're interested in the show Mindhunter by David Fincher, it just deals with the discussion of murder and why people commit these murders, and it asks us what to do once in the face of these murders. The book questions whether we have free will and whether the news and media play a role in our decision and daily lives. If you're aware of the philosophy and psychology scene, then you have heard of Sam Harris, who says that the brain makes decisions before the mind does, at least 2 to 6 seconds in an experiment where they tested the brain to make a decision, and it has already made the decision before the mind did. The terms can be interchangeable. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but essentially, the brain makes the decision before the mind does, and that leads us to wonder whether there is free will at all, or whether it is an illusion. And the question of autonomy and whether the things we see on the media influence us to commit mass shootings, whether the news we watch or the video games we play, like Grand Theft Auto, influence our decisions and daily lives. The author of the book says that it doesn't, and that we are each individuals responsible for our own lives, and that the things we watch do not affect us as largely as most psychologists think. Now, the author wasn't as annoying about it as in the book Inside the Criminal Mind, which is another true crime book, which isn't that good as compared to this one. I find the writing to be more engaging and more interesting and more thoughtful and provocative than Inside the Criminal Mind. So if you're thinking about reading a Criminal Mind book, then the one by John Douglas is the one to go. He also wrote Mindhunter and Journey into Darkness, which I have not read, but I am looking forward to reading in the future. Jordan Peterson said that it is important to dive deep into the madness and disparity of 21st century crime to humanity and to understand the motives behind dark passages and dark events in history so that we can learn and overcome the darkness within ourselves and so we can prosper and benefit from reading dark books. There are some things that you can't get from happy books, like prose or good stories. If you were to read something like Zorba the Greek by Nikas Kazentsikas, which is on my shelf, or Blood Meridian, then you'll miss out on a great deal of well told stories or learn something more about your own inner being and nature. There is darkness in each of us, and Carl Jung says that we must face the shadow within us and do shadow work or shadow therapy to help us accept the darkness within ourselves and to prosper into better, more fruitful, and useful individuals in the future. So, thank you for watching, as always, Lucy Constantine, and I'll try to make more videos in the future. As for now, goodbye, and thank you for watching, as always, Lucio.